Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more English story. Past mistakes. I always thought of life as a straight road, a path with clear signs guiding me to where I was supposed to be. But the truth? My road was riddled with wrong turns, dead ends, and moments where I couldn't see beyond the fog of my own mistakes. At times, felt like I was walking backward, haunted by the weight of decisions I couldn't undo. One mistake in particular clung to me like a shadow. It wasn't the kind of error you could easily shrug off. It was a decision that cost me something irreplaceable: trust. Trust from the people I cared about, and, more importantly, trust in myself. It all started with a lie. A small one at first, told to cover up a mistake at work. But lies have a way of snowballing, and before I knew it, I was tangled in a web I couldn't escape. When the truth finally came out, the fallout was devastating. I lost a promotion. Colleagues distanced themselves, and I became the cautionary tale in every whispered conversation. But worse than the judgment of others was the voice in my head, a relentless critic that reminded me of my failure at every turn. The moment of reckoning. For months, I tried to bury the guilt, to distract myself with anything that could dull the sting of regret. But no matter how far I ran, my mistakes followed. Then, one evening, I found myself sitting alone in my dimly lit apartment, staring at an old journal I hadn't touched in years. I flipped it open, and there, scrawled on the first page, was a question I had written to my future self years ago. Who are you becoming? The words hit me like a punch to the gut. Who was I becoming? Someone defined by their mistakes? Someone who let regret dictate the rest of their life? That night, I made a choice. I couldn't change the past, but I could change how I carried it. Instead of letting my mistakes define me, I decided to let them shape me into someone better. The journey to redemption. The next day, I started small. I reached out to my former boss, not to ask for anything, but to apologize sincerely. I admitted my wrongs without excuses. The conversation was awkward and painful, but it was also freeing. For the first time, I felt the chains of my guilt begin to loosen. From there, I worked to rebuild what I had lost, not just professionally, but personally. I started volunteering, offering my skills to help others in need. It wasn't about erasing my mistakes, but about proving to myself that I could grow beyond them. I also began a practice of reflection. Every night, I wrote down one thing I had done that day to align with the person I wanted to become. It wasn't about perfection. It was about progress. Slowly but surely, I began to trust myself again. The gift of mistakes. Looking back now, I realize my mistakes were not the end of my story. They were the beginning of a new chapter. They taught me humility, resilience, and the importance of integrity. They forced me to confront the parts of myself I had ignored for too long. Most importantly, they taught me that mistakes are not failures. They are lessons, harsh and unrelenting, but invaluable. Every misstep is an opportunity to grow, to realign, and to become better than you were before. A new road, today. My road is no longer straight or predictable, but that's what makes it beautiful. It's a path shaped by wrong turns and second chances, by lessons learned and strength gained. I still stumble. I'm human, after all, but I no longer fear my mistakes. Instead, I embrace them as part of the journey. And when I look back at the person I used to be, I don't feel shame anymore. I feel gratitude. Because without those mistakes, I wouldn't be the person I am today. The moral of the story: mistakes are not the end of your story. They are the beginning of growth. Every misstep holds a lesson, and every regret is a chance to rebuild. Instead of running from your past, face it, learn from it, and use it to create a future you can be proud of. Your mistakes do not define you. How you rise from them does. Past mistakes. Part 2. Months had passed since I began my journey to rebuild myself. It wasn't easy. Growth never is. Some days, I felt the weight of my past mistakes pulling me down, whispering doubts in my ear. What if they'll never forgive you? What if you can never forgive yourself? But I kept moving forward. Step by step. One day, I received a call from someone I hadn't spoken to in years. My old colleague, Sarah. Sarah had been one of the people most affected by my mistakes. She had trusted me, defended me, and ultimately felt betrayed when the truth came out. Hearing her voice brought a rush of emotions: fear, guilt, but also hope. "Can we meet?" she asked. When we sat across from each other at the small cafe, the air between us was thick with unspoken words. Finally, she broke the silence. "Why now?" she asked. "Why reach out after all this time?" I took a deep breath and spoke from my heart. "Because I've spent too long letting my mistakes define me. I know I hurt you, Sarah, and I've carried that guilt every day. I'm not here to ask for forgiveness. I know that's yours to give, if and when you're ready. I just wanted you to know that I'm working to be better." Her expression softened, and for the first time, I saw the faintest trace of a smile. "You've changed," she said. "The old you would have never admitted that." We talked for hours. It wasn't an instant fix. Healing takes time. But that conversation marked the beginning of a new chapter. Not just for our relationship, But for me, turning mistakes into strength. As time went on, I began to see the power of owning my past. My mistakes, once a source of shame, became a foundation for my growth. I started mentoring young professionals, sharing my story as a cautionary tale but also as proof that recovery is possible. Through this, I discovered something unexpected. My mistakes didn't just teach me resilience, they gave me purpose. By helping others navigate their own challenges, I found a sense of fulfillment I had never known before. One day, a young mentee came to me after making a significant error at work. Tears filled her eyes as she said, "I feel like I've ruined everything." I smiled gently and told her, "I've been there. But trust me, this isn't the end of your story. It's just a chapter. What matters is what you do next." Rewriting the narrative. Years later, I no longer cringe when I think of my mistakes. Instead, I see them as turning points, moments that tested me and ultimately made me stronger. The people I once hurt now see the person I've become. And while I can never erase the past, I've shown them that I am more than my failures. When I look in the mirror, I no longer see the person who lied, who ran from the truth, who let fear guide their choices. I see someone who faced their mistakes, learned from them, and used them to build a life rooted in honesty, resilience, and purpose. And the best part? I finally trust myself again. Because mistakes don't define us. It's how we rise from them that truly matters. Moral: growth comes not from avoiding mistakes but from embracing them as opportunities to learn, grow, and rewrite your story. Your past may shape you, but it doesn't have to define you. Use every failure as a stepping stone to a better, stronger you. I'm so glad you spent this time with me. If you liked the story, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Take care, and see you next time.